A few days ago, we learned that Ukraine has been conducting a major counteroffensive in the south over the last few months. Those operations, combined, led to over 745 square kilometers cleared and 26 villages returned to Ukrainian control. Now, part of the reason for that success is that it was kept a secret. Clearance after clearance went off without a public mention from the Ukrainian military. That changed a few days ago. And today we're joined by two soldiers that took part in some of those operations. Rojhat and SOUPS are team leaders in the Black Talon Group, an organization fighting in the Ukrainian SSO, or Special Operations Forces. We focus on some of their close-quarter tactics, how they go about clearing buildings when they know Russians are inside, challenges of infil and exfil, and a crazy story about a recent Medevac that goes to show that the golden hour isn't really a thing in this war. Now, this interview is part of a fundraiser through Protect a Volunteer, where we're helping the guys in the video and their unit to pick up much-needed equipment. It's a 501c3, so all donations are fully tax-deductible, and you can learn more about that campaign at the link in the description below. And with that, let's get to the conversation. All right, Rojas, Soup, appreciate you guys taking the time to chat for a little bit today. Rojas, we've not met in person, did a little that Vet TV stuff about a year ago now. You're still hanging out, doing work in Ukraine. Soup, good to meet you.
How you doing?
Guys, I was hoping we could talk, because you're doing more assault operations, kind of infantry type work, and a lot of what we end up talking about is drones. So interested to get into what you're doing and how you're doing it. You mentioned that you're changing AOs right now. So you're moving out of one area, heading to another. Is that normal for infantry type units like this?
Depending on the unit, yeah.
Yeah, we're already here, so like immediately after one, we came straight here. So
Yeah, it's some units will stay in one area, but some of them move around to wherever they're needed.
Yeah.
It just depends on your unit.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Like, would you rather stay in one area for a period of time and really get to know that area, or is there something to bouncing around?
That would be preferred because
you know the area.
you know the enemy and how they act. You know the area.
Yeah.
But
because some area are more spicy than others.
we just do whatever we're told. So
Yeah.
Not your choice.
Yeah.
So you'd mentioned that as you're heading into this area, you're working through some training before you move back out into the. I mean, I know you're right there at the front, anyways. What does that look like from one AO to another? Like, are you changing up the training you're going through, what you have to prepare for? Can you just talk through that?
Well, like as an operator, you should be able to do any type of job. You should be well rounded on everything. So it's like mission specific. So if you get to know what area you're working in, for example, if it's urban, Pasakas, like tree lines and stuff.
trenches.
So, yeah, trenches. You just kind of center your training on that. You know what I mean? And you focus on that.
Especially if it's different work than you were
Yeah.
doing in the last area.
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of do it like a refresher.
Mm-hmm.
So is it more tied to the terrain than anything else?
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
But it's
Okay.
pretty much basically common sense when you train. Like, you should be well rounded anyway. So
Yeah, but it changes too, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
whoever received whatever the basic training looks like in Ukraine right now for trenches is probably a lot different than what you guys are seeing at the front. So there's some degree of like second
Correct.
or third level training, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. A lot of our training and our SOP is from experience, not from textbook. So
Even mid deployment, you'll train different because if by the way the enemy works, you'll see them do something different, and you try to counter it, and
yeah, exactly.
they try to counter that, and you go back and forth forever, indefinitely.
Like you're like increasing your baseline type stuff.
How open to training are the guys? You guys are both prior U.S. military, and like there's a little bit of a roll the eyes, especially on a deployment. The last thing you want to do is like get out and start doing training, but it seems like it is important. How open to it are the guys there?
Well, when they
It depends.
yeah when
on
they
the guy.
yeah when they ask to come to us, we make it known like that textbook NATO standard shit that like
It doesn't
you need
work.
yeah, it doesn't work that well. You need to freestyle it. So we tell them you got to be open and coachable. You can't really come to like a good unit and think you know everything, because if that's your attitude, then you go somewhere else, bro. So
Yeah, but we're constantly training.
Yeah,
If we're not working, we're training.
yeah, there's always room for improvement, man. No one here is like the best fighter or whatever. If you think you're the best fighter, this isn't the place for you.
What's a break look like then? Again, I'm coming at this from a U.S. military perspective, right? We get ready in the U.S., then we go overseas for 6, 9, 12 months. Then you come back, maybe you got block leave or something, but like there's a very clear on and off switch. How do you guys handle that?
I don't know. I haven't really had a break, so
Yeah,
I can't really answer
there's
that question.
it's all about the need,
Yeah, really.
and at the moment, there's a lot of need and not a lot of people. So
Yeah,
you just keep working.
yeah. Because you come here to fight, so that's what you want to do. We're gonna do that, man. I didn't come here for vacation, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, but like mentally, you've got to need at least a little bit of a walk back, right? That doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily mean go to
Absolutely.
Hawaii for a month, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
is
I
it
mean,
just getting back to Kyiv or?
yeah. You just go back to the city, you know. Maybe first.
you get a week or two here and there. You go to Kiev or you go to
Hmm.
Lviv or any of these
Yeah, something like
western
that.
cities.
Yeah,
Hang
yeah.
out for a little while.
Get to
Kind of a
get
rapid
to
compress.
yeah, like experience what you're protecting.
And even our training is a break.
Yeah, our training is a break. Like we get one day off a week, man. Like sleep in, chill, do what you want.
It doesn't
It's a
sound like
lot.
rest, but it's a lot of rest
Yeah,
from coming from the front.
yeah. Because for example, right, you can go on a mission, and do what you got to do there, and then come back, and you can go to the restaurant literally the same day you come back. Like
Yeah.
it's not like Iraq, Afghanistan, where you're just like, you're just completely off from everything.
Do you see any foreigners that have? I'm thinking specifically of Americans that have an issue with that because it feels like there's a very thin line between active combat operations and chilling out at a restaurant having a few beers. Like I feel like that might be hard for some people to work through.
Yeah, I think it, it, you're not really used to the reality because it's like, for example, you do some work and then the next day you're at a restaurant eating a salad and you're just like, dude, there's no way yesterday we just did this shit. Like, your
Yeah.
mind's like,
It's hard to switch off.
yeah, it's hard to accept the reality of what's going on. It's kind of like a dream. But like eventually you'll just get used to it. So it's kind of good in a way because your mind's always active in that like fighting mentality. So you're not really completely cut off and rusty when you start again. So it's just like it's just always there.
So we tend to see and hear a ton about drone operations, and we're watching Russians advance in some of these areas, and it's a drone that goes in and hunts them down.
Most
What
of
is
the time.
the well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it that you guys are doing on the assault? Like, why are there still assault units being utilized instead of just FPVs killing dudes everywhere they can?
Well, FPVs do kill people everywhere they can, but they can't go everywhere. They can't be everywhere all the time. And even if they kill them, we have to go. Someone has to be physically there for it to be taken back.
For example, like FEVs, they kind of do the majority of the work from like when them coming in or when them walking out in the open. But like you need eyes in the tree lines, in the basements and whatnot. Like because like there's times like you can literally hide from an FPV, bro. It's not that hard, and get away with it and just continue pushing on. You need someone physically there to drop the people that's like
Right.
that's coming in. 'Cause they're like rats, bro. You would never see them from
They
above.
hide everywhere.
Yeah, they're hide everywhere.
But now, I would imagine you guys have a lot of reconnaissance before you go into, say, a small village. You have a
Mhm.
general idea of what buildings the Russians might be in or might not be in. Can you talk through when you say they're like rats hiding in there? Can you maybe give some examples of what that looks like as you move into a small village?
Okay, I can talk about it. Yeah, so one of our first missions in our old AO, right? Um, we were told that the village was clear and there's nothing there, right? And we were there for about a week, and then we find out that the Russians were actually there. It's like 20 of them. They hide everywhere, man. They're like in the cellars, like underground, like hiding under. Bro, it's like you would never know that they're there. That's my point. So they're pretty well hidden and dug in to the point where like it feels like they're cut off from their own command. They're just like surviving there by themselves because there's a lot of them you come across and they have no gun, no water, no weapon, no radio.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just physically just there until a force can push up. And they can,
Drones don't see everything,
yeah,
thankfully, because
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to
because
work.
there was like 20 Russians in that last village that we were in. So on our one of our first missions back in our old days. So and because
But
of
you've
that,
been
like,
watching it, and there's yeah.
oh my fault, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, well, because of that, like
No, it's
one of our teammates from our sister group, like was killed in action because of this stuff. So it's like all the intel is not going to be exact. You have to be there and be aware of like this. There's possibilities of good Russians being there and
Yeah,
whatnot.
someone has to physically clear out every house, every cellar, every building, everything.
Right. Yeah.
clearing really does sound like the right term for that. More
Mhm.
than most operations. Like you're genuinely going through and making sure that they're not in basements, in cellars? Like,
exactly.
They'll
hide in the
what
couch.
The hell's the point?
They'll hide in the.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just waiting there until the line can push up, man. And when they push up, they're like, yeah, let's, and then just keep. I guess that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Man. They send guys across,
one or two.
Yeah, in gray zone, and they just like have them just sit there and wait for their own friendly forces to push up, and they'll just keep bouncing back like that or bouncing forward.
Do you find that those guys are quick to surrender or more likely to surrender than in other engagements?
It depends on the unit and the individual.
Okay. But most of the time they don't really surrender, and they'll just like, they'll be quiet and probably like
they just hide.
Yeah, they'll just hide and be quiet. But if you like ever come across them, bro, they'll just start shooting, man. But we don't speak Russian anyway, so like I don't really care. So if they're shooting at me, I'm gonna shoot you. Simple as that.
It's hard to imagine being in that spot of like just go up there, hang out, good luck. We'll see.
Yeah,
I feel like that would open the door for people to surrender at some point when you're like, my buddies aren't coming up, nobody's talking to me.
Yeah, that does happen. They do surrender.
Mm-hmm.
It just, yeah. Especially the conscript units, still.
Yeah, I mean the ones that do surrender, like half their team has already been wiped anyway. So
they'll be out of ammo, out of food, out of whatever. They've been there a month.
Yeah, they're all parked
in a basement,
chap-lipped
starving
and all.
to death.
Yeah, all injured and shit.
They're hanging out like this for a month or more.
Oh, yeah, they're like going out and finding, like getting buckets of water and like trying to fend for themselves,
collecting rain.
Yeah. That's how like the drone will see them. They'll like they don't understand that like they're being watched in that area. So like you send a recon drone and then you'll see like a door that's open, and you send another recon drone, that door's closed. So you're like, yeah, there's somebody there, and then we'll just send in. And then they'll blow it up with drones, and if they can't, they'll just send guys in to clear it.
Wow. Well, moving to that CQB phase, where do you draw that line between actually going into some of these buildings versus just tossing in as much explosive as you can? It seems like some of these villages are probably not occupied, so you could just remove a building or just throw grenades into a basement until you run out.
Yeah, sure.
Well, when do you decide to actually go in?
Well, the thing is, it's like,
sure,
you don't want to spoil your, what's that word, man? The element of surprise, man. You don't want to be wasting, your ammo and whatnot in case you actually need it.
Grenades are heavy. You have to carry that 20 kilometers, so you can only carry so many.
Yeah. So, I mean,
if you know the enemy is there, and then sure, you'll grenade it a bunch of times and then go in after.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you'll know about where they are, but not exactly. Mm-hmm. So you have to go physically find them.
Yeah. But that's when thermal drones come into play, man. They'll just see heat signatures through a window or something, and there's a possibility that there's Russians here. So when you approach that specific part, that's when you have to like kind of switch on a little bit and approach, have better judgment on how you want to approach the building and what.
Wow. It's a lot, man. A lot to deal with every day. Thinking about that. Are you running into any sort of booby traps in those scenarios?
Oh yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Grenade traps everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Mines everywhere.
Yeah. But most of the time,
active protection, or is it like they left it behind type thing, or both?
Both, bro, both. But the thing is, with most of the time with Russian traps, like especially with their grenades, you can hear the fuse pop before it blows up, so you have that time to run.
F1 grenades are loud.
Yeah.
So instead of like we might put up claymores or something like that, they're just stringing together whatever they can in the doorway when they hunker down in the cellar. It's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Is there? Thinking back to GWAT, guys are walking around with bomb dogs and they're walking around with metal detectors and all of this ground penetrating radar. You guys have a ton of mines to deal with on the surface and subsurface. How are you handling that, walking to or from an objective?
Very carefully.
Yeah, very carefully, man. You don't really see the mines most of the time.
Yeah,
just don't step on them?
Yeah, a lot of times they're not buried. They're dropped from drones, so they're in semi-plain sight. So if you pay attention, most of the time you could find them. But the little butterfly mines, they're pretty sneaky in the tall grass. Yeah, they're
plus like when they drop it with drones, like they have this I forgot what program it is, but it kind of like detects the drone and you see what altitude that they're at and how long they've been sitting at this altitude, so they can kind of have a general idea if he goes.
Yeah, our drones track their drones when they drop them, and then they'll mark it on the maps. And stuff.
Like possible mine here and whatnot.
But they drop them everywhere, and they
so you got an idea, like this path is probably mined.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Still, dealing with mines down below, people shooting from forward and drones overhead.
Yeah, man, it's like
4-dimensional for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I said sometimes that NATO GWAT stuff don't work, man. You just got to freestyle it a little bit, unorthodox.
Can you give any examples of that? Maybe guys that have come in recently that have tried to bring kind of Western standards and it just hasn't worked.
Like for example, like if you know the enemy is around the corner when you're behind a threshold or something, like you really gonna stick your face like that, bro? Like, no, man, just swing the weapon and just like shoot at that specific spot. Like as a warfighter, right, you should be able to control your weapon at any, in any position and whatnot, and accurately shoot at close range anyway. So I rather like take rounds to my weapon than my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of Somalis shooting around corners and
Yeah, but it's like controlled shit, not like actually Somali shooting. You just like professionally, you gotta look professional when you do.
Not the
Controlled
full
fire,
on
like,
spray
right?
and pray. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it works, man. It works.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Are you running into very many civilians when you go into some of these areas, or are they just completely gone at
It
this
depends
point?
on the area.
It depends on the area, but yeah, I met a couple of civilians all the time, man. They're like a bunch of old people that don't want to move out, man.
You'll see people clearing a village and just like some babushka on a bicycle just drive by.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a wild thing.
Dude. I guess just stubborn. Like, this is my house. It's been my house for 70 years. I'm not leaving. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah.
Their family's been there forever. They've been through
Yeah. They probably just don't give
the
a fuck.
Soviet Union
Yeah,
and
the Soviet
everything,
Yeah.
They're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And some of them are waiting for the Russians, but most of them are just surviving.
Yeah. Some don't even care who wins, bro. They just want to fucking.
And if they leave, where are they going to go? What are they going to eat? Where are they going
to? Yeah.
They've been farming the same land for 100 years, their family.
I get the survival piece, whether it's necessarily pro-Russian or not, just like they're just going to wait and like do nothing, keep their head down and hope for the best. I can understand that, especially the older folks.
Yeah.
That's usually it's usually older people.
Yeah, they usually yell at us and tell them to go away because, like, if the Russians see that.
Yeah, they don't want their house or land targeted.
Yeah. So they see that we're talking to them, they're like,
they just shoot everyone off.
Yeah, like get out of here.
Just fun.
The collaboration, probably, right? Like if the Russians see you spending time in their home, they could be okay.
Yeah, they'll blow.
Yeah, they'll 100% kill a civilian, man.
They don't care about civilians at all.
Does the threat picture change very much from one theater to another? I mean, I know we just talked about it's 4-dimensional, it's everywhere at all times, but have you noticed from maybe one unit you're working against to another, there's more drones, more bombers, more cabs, whatever it might be?
Yeah,
or is it pretty consistent?
For sure.
Yeah, it depends on the AO really, but like for example, if it's like more like flat, more open, like there's gonna be more drones. If it's like more coverage, it's probably gonna be more ground guys and whatnot. Because like what we do on this side, the Russians also do on the other side. They're always gonna have guys too. It's common sense with warfighting, like if there's a bunch of trees, they're gonna send guys in to hide in the trees. Like we're gonna do the same thing.
Have everything.
Yeah.
So are you guys mostly running up against these Russians that are just kind of holed out in basements that have been there for a period of time? Or are you are you going out against active Russian offensive operations, like a squad or
Yeah. Like like last mission we got fucking surrounded and cut off and assaulted and whatnot. And they had suppressors and everything, man. I don't know. They're probably like Spetsnaz or some shit from what we heard. Yeah.
Yeah, we had
suppressors
we were doing
on the Russian side generally means a better equipped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not gonna fucking give suppressors to some random ass like normal dudes going to die within like 30 minutes, bro. They're just gonna give it to some guys that actually have some type of work, some type of special unit or some shit like that.
Yeah, we were on a QRF mission, so we were supposed to be pretty safe where we were.
Yeah, it was a QRF mission, but the assault went to us instead.
We got assaulted.
We got surrounded and assaulted and whatnot.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea when you're getting into that you're going up against a better unit? Or is that you're finding it out? Like the first shot flies, like, okay, now we know.
You'll know when they shoot at you if they could shoot and maneuver.
Yeah.
But if our drones see them, they'll be able to tell by their equipment and the way they move around.
Yeah, and their kit too, right? Like you drop a dude and you see their, you kind of have to look at their shit and you just see the type of equipment they got, and it tells you what type of like forces are in that area that's coming to you.
Same thing they do with us, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I guess we're kind of hyper focused on the Russian military, but technically that's everywhere, right? I mean, even here in the U.S., you grab a random National Guard unit, put it up against a Ranger squad, like they're going to look very, very different. although
Exactly,
both
yeah,
still
for sure.
military. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys talk real quick before we wrap up in any sort of kind of medical evacuation? That's a question that we don't hear, something we don't hear a lot about. I know it's challenging. What does that look like for you guys if you're out on one of these raids, one of these operations, and somebody gets wounded? How do you get them back?
You got to carry them back however long you came in.
Yeah, it depends on the injury.
Yeah.
On our last mission, we had a guy get shot, and he walked back 20 plus kilometers.
He got shot up.
Shot off the leg and the arm, and
Yeah, all of us were like peppered with shrapnel.
we gave him a stick, and he just used it as a cane.
Yeah.
But
We walked back, what, 2 days we walked back? The whole team, bro. We
Yeah.
took a casualty.
everyone was wounded.
Yeah, we got one killed in action. Everyone else got wounded, man. We were all wounded. We walked back 20K, man. It didn't matter.
We can share some videos from that with you
Yeah.
if you want, though.
You're on your own, man, when you're out there.
There's no
fucking
easy
nine
way.
line.
Kind of
Yeah, there's no fucking 9 line. There's no fucking, helicopter gonna pick you up.
Now
bro.
we have ground drones that will help,
Yeah.
but then they get targeted by FPVs, and it's almost safer just to carry the guy or have them walk if at all possible.
Yeah, basically.
It's wild. So do you guys have dedicated medics then in your group? Like, do you have folks that
Yeah.
are more trained in some of that to help? Okay.
Yeah, we have medics. I'm the team medic on my team,
Yeah.
and everyone is CLS qualified also, so everyone could do a little bit.
Yeah. Like I said, you need to have some kind of knowledge, well-rounded operator when you come here. So
Yeah, that's significantly different than strap a tourniquet on it and hope the helicopter gets here in 8 minutes. I mean, you got to the level of
for
medical
sure.
knowledge you have to have to keep people alive is significant.
You get injured, you'll be getting picked up in 2 days, man. You need to fucking
You ain't getting picked up. Yeah, you get picked up after
Golden
you
2
walk
days.
20 kilometers.
Yeah.
Golden week.
Yeah, man. So you just gotta deal with the pain, man. So don't get hit, I guess. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's a lot. I appreciate you guys, Rojhat, Soup, talking through this, man, sharing what you guys are experiencing, and hopefully we can get this fundraiser moving, get you guys some more vehicles, whatever you need. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat for a bit today, guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Thank you for talking out.
Yeah, thank you for your time as well, man. Really.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
All right, bro.
All right, so thank you so much to Rojhat and Soups for taking the time to walk through all that. It's always so interesting to hear directly from these guys what they're dealing with and how things have changed on a day-to-day basis. Now, again, this is part of a fundraiser through Protect a Volunteer. You can learn more about that campaign to support Rojhat, Soups, and the rest of their organization at the link in the description below. That's all we got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.